A lot of newer players always ask me what gun should I be using inside of Counter-Strike 2, and today I'm going to explain to you kind of what loadout you should be looking at and what weapons are the most effective in this game. We're going to look at some paths to get to those weapons and what SMGs are the best, what pistols, what rifles, because at the end of the day, a lot of it's going to come down to personal opinion. But if you've been watching some of the other guides on my channels, I've showcased all the strengths, the weaknesses from specific guns in the game. Now I'm going to talk about what we should be aiming at and trying to get to in each game, because too many of us are using the wrong weapons and it's actually ending up hurting us in these games. And it's very simple once you learn it, but it's just something we all have to understand. But before we get into that, I'm going to teach you something that maybe some of you don't know yet, and that is how to get some cheap CS2 skins from the best marketplace out there. So stay tuned for this.
Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skins Monkey. They are one of the greatest and easiest to use CS2 trading sites out there. You can swap out the skins you do not like for brand new ones that are so much more fresh. Even skins that are trade locked can be secured by adding them to your backpack. The greatest thing about the site is that you can buy skins for so much cheaper with a 35% deposit bonus when you use my code, KOJO. Make sure to check out the freebie section where you can get a free skin just by completing tasks. On top of the bonuses, you also get a $5 bonus when clicking the link in the description.
Alright guys, so let's talk about both on T side and CT side what guns we should be trying to use and how to get there. So on the T side of things first, obviously on pistol round we're going to only have $800. You probably just want to get Kevlar vest like I've explained in the past videos. But we play pistol round out and hopefully we win pistol. Now if we win pistol, we have a few options. If you can, getting helmet and AK is always your priority. The AK-47 is the most overpowered weapon in the game, and you'll see why later. This is the gun that we want to have on gun rounds anyways, so the sooner we can get that up, the better. Especially if you think the other team is force buying, having this rifle to compete against their FAMASs, their MP9s, all these things is going to be extremely viable. Now, if you win the first round and they don't get many kills and you think they're going to save, or they just have a bad buy, one of the best things you can do is to get an SMG. Now, why is an SMG so good? Because you can farm money with the SMGs. So in general, you want at least 2 people in your second round to have these guns so that they can start to build up the economy of your team and not invest as much as someone getting a rifle and armor. With the SMG, you can get more nades and drop your nades to teammates or whatever. In general, you don't want a shotgun on T side. Shotgun on T side is not a viable second round path. I'm sure you can use it, and at a low level, of course, you can use any gun, but trust me guys, if you want to actually get better at the game and stuff, stop buying shotguns second round on T side. Instead, the MAC-10 is your best friend. Honestly, screw the other SMGs, everything else. Get a MAC-10 and be aggressive with this gun. Get up in their face and be very active with it. I tell you guys how to use this gun in one of my past videos. My subscribers know how to use it. This is the gun you want on second round T side. It's so overpowered, it's so unstoppable, and it can help you build that confidence up and allows you to really just be active and run around with it. So second round, we want the MAC-10. Now you might say, Kojo, well, what if we lose the pistol round? Now that's going to depend on 2 things on T side. If you get the bomb plant down, it is actually very good to force buy on the second round. Especially if your team got lots of kills and there is barely any CTs alive. So it's a good strategy on the second round. With the limited money you're going to have, it's going to depend on how many kills you got and stuff. But in general, you're going to be able to at least buy chest armor, but preferably we get helmet always. We always want to get a helmet because the other team is going to have MP9s, M4s, these weapons that we don't want to be able to one-shot us. So if you can get helmet and Kevlar and a Galil, this is so good because the Galil is essentially just an M4. If the other team buys M4s, you're going to be able to compete with it and essentially have a fair fight on them. So if your whole team can get Galils, then you're facing MP9s, M4s, when they, have the disadvantage now because of you have the firepower. If you got kills and planted the bomb, you're actually able to get an AK 100% buy that when you can. That's going to be the difference in this round, and that first round loss is actually going to turn into a win. So essentially, it goes like that. So if you get the bomb down, then forcing second round is great. You want Galils, you want MAC-10s, you want MP7s, you want these kind of things that are going to help you out. Don't buy shotguns, don't buy pistols. Get these upgraded guns and really try to take fair fights against the other team, right? Obviously on T side, you have the advantage of swarming the other team, so it's really good. If you lose the pistol round without getting a bomb down, that's where you want to eco. Just get a P250, just get a Deagle, Tech 9, no armor, and just take an eco so that you can save. And then on the third round, you can get the rifle. So if you lose pistol with no bomb plant, save your gun so that you can get AKs in the 3rd round. And essentially on the T side of things too, on maps like Dust 2, getting a scout can be viable. I'm not a huge fan of the T side scout, but on maps like this, it actually can work out. So don't be afraid to buy that. On maps like Inferno, never buy this gun. It's so bad. So it's going to vary map to map if that's viable. 3rd round, if we can get money, we always want to be able to have an op up. You want 1 op on the T side. T side, you never want more than 1 op generally. So getting it 1 op on each team and then having 4 AKs is always the goal. The SG 553 can be, the Krieg can be viable, but it's just not something I would really prioritize or focus on as a player. If you want to grind to the, top of the scene, I would say AK and op is always your end game. AK op end game, and then Galil is like your budget option if you don't have other options. And then if you can't get a Galil, Mac 10 is your next option. So as far as T side goes, that's the best thing to do. If you're ever on an eco, Tech 9s are your best friend, Deagles are your best friend. These 2 guns are going to win you T side rounds. So let's go ahead and hop on over to the CT side of things. And guys, if you want to support me, click that subscribe button. It means so much to me. And also, I offer paid coaching services now. So if you want to be coached by a professional player, I do offer that right now. And I've been having a lot of fun teaching my students and learning. So check out the link in the description for that. So let's talk about CT site. Now on pistol round, obviously we just need a USP. That's fine. Dualies. I taught you guys this. If you want to watch that, check out the video. I taught you guys what to do on pistol rounds. If we win pistol round, 2nd round, the MP9 is literally the most overpowered gun out there. This thing shreds through opponents, both armored and unarmored. Obviously if they have armor, it's gonna take a lot more bullets, but it's just so fast shooting. So if they don't have armor, they have 0 chance to kill you with this gun. You can be extremely active with it. It needs nerfed, honestly. So 2nd round, buy MP9, play close range if you win, right? If you have some more money and you're playing like long A or something, when possible, get an A1S in armor. That is so important. Obviously, guys, without being said, for both sides, when you can get util, it's so important. But get an A1S because you're going to be able to compete with like a force spy against Galils and AKs. And then if they don't have those, you're going to shred through the other team when they're saving. So A1S, always your best friend on those rounds. But generally, MP9, UMP, and even the shotguns are good. I'd say 2nd round, if you win, do not get a Mag 7. Why? Because generally, they're going to be grouped up with SMGs, pistols, and the Mag 7 it can be good, but you can only shoot once. So when the T side is grouped and playing properly, the Mag 7 is never the gun you want when you have just 1 around. Buy the Mag 7 when you're on a force fight and you're playing against AKs, because that's where they're kind of going to be prodding out. They're going to be like, you can catch them off in these close range fights versus when they have like a Mag 10 and they're just like W keying, running around, jumping all over the place, making it hard to kill. You want to shoot riflers with the Mag 7, not SMGs. XM can be a little more viable, but in general, get an MP9, M4, or FAMAS or Scout on these second rounds. If you lost pistol, it can be very valuable to, if your team is going to force, buy the Scout and go for opening picks like here, doing this. If your team is going to force 2, it's good to get an MP9 half armor or get pistol full armor and get some nades. In general, those are going to be kind of the options you want. Your end game for CT side, now listen up very importantly, your end game for CT side is to always just get chest armor when you think that you're playing against AKs and ops, and to be able to get A1S, AUG, or op. These 3 guns are going to be your best friends, specifically the M4 A1S and the M4, and then the op. These 2 guns, your best friend, and then AUG. I love the AUG. I like using it, but some players don't. You don't have to get good with this, but the A1S and op are your best friend. And then FAMAS is always going to be that budget rifle option. It kind of sucks a bit. The spray pattern isn't the most favorable, but the FAMAS is kind of your budget when your team is forcing and you still want a rifle, but you can't afford an A1S. So definitely understand how to use the FAMAS because you're going to need to. But always try to get the A1S, the op, and the AUG. Those are your end game guns. And then on CT side, you always want to get a kit when possible as well. So this is kind of understanding the economy, how you should be going about getting these guns. In general, if you ever want money, always use the SMG tiers. So if you know that the other team is on full Glocks, it can be very worth it to get an SMG and to farm them with that. When you know the team is force buying and on rifles, it's good to get your A1Ss, your ops up, because the op is just the most overpowered gun in the game. Whenever you can get this up, it's great. On CT side, you can get 1 or 2 of these. Just depends on the map and how the game's going, but 1 or 2 ops is always viable on CT side. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. A little bit different type of video here, but I thought because I was showing you guys how to use each gun specifically in the past, it would be good to understand when to buy these guns. That's so important to know. So I appreciate all the support. that you guys have given me. Sorry, I had hiccups. I appreciate all the support. You guys are amazing. Keep grinding, keep working hard, and I will catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace out.